Ever wondered how giants like Amazon or Starbucks deliver their goods every day? It's all about their operating model. Let's unpack the secret sauce. Welcome. Today we are diving into a critical pillar of business success, operating models. Whether you are a managing of a startup, leading a team, or even steering a multinational corporation, understanding how your operating model works is essential to aligning your organization's strategy and its execution. Think of an operating model as the how behind your business. It's the blueprint that connects your strategic vision to the day-to-day activities that drive results. Today, we will explore what operating models are, their key components, different types, and how they shape business performance. By the end of this session, you'll be equipped to analyze and even design operating models that deliver value. So let's get started. Welcome to Agna Academy. I'm Girish Hebbani. Let us begin with what is an operating model. Do you know? It ultimately is an operating model or a framework that defines how an organization delivers value to its customers, stakeholders, and itself. It's the bridge between strategy, the what and the why, and the execution, which is the how. Simply put, it's how your business organizes its people, processes, technology, and resources to achieve its goal. The key idea, unlike a business model, which focuses on what is value created and who it's delivered to, an operating model focuses on how that value is delivered operationally. For example, Amazon's business model is about e-commerce and customer convenience, but its operating model includes a sophisticated supply chain, centralized technology platforms, and a decentralized fulfillment network. You may ask, why does this matter? A misaligned operating model can derail even the best strategy of any organization. Imagine a company with a bold vision to be a premium products leader in the world, but an operating model bogged down by inefficiencies and delays. It's definitely a recipe for failure. So what needs to be done? A brilliant operating model is built on the blueprint of three pillars: people, process, and performance. Get those three right, and your strategy becomes a reality. So, firstly, people. They are the heart of execution. No matter how brilliant your strategy, it's the people who bring it to life. In every operating model, people are the drivers of action. This includes your employees, teams, leaders, and partners. Anyone involved in executing the business strategy. Process. The engine that runs it all. People are the drivers, but the process is the road that takes you there. Processes are the repeatable routines that make operations consistent and deliverable. A strong process ensures nothing slips through the gap and can be improved over time. Performance is the measure of success. You can have the right people and perfect processes, but if you don't measure performance, you won't know if it's working. Performance is all about results. It shows whether your operating model is delivering value and where you need to improve. As we always do, let us use a plain and simple example to understand the elements of an operating model. Let us take a lemonade shop operating model. The six elements of the lemonade operating model would be, using the Polism framework that is part of the operating model framework, let's see how a lemonade stand would work. So processes, steps like mixing lemonade or serving customers, or you may mix lemonade in 5 minutes per batch. Your organization, who's involved? Kids, parents, or helpers. So one kid serves and one handles the cash. The location, where the stands set up, like at a street corner, maybe a park, or even a beach, based on where the crowds are. Next is information. Tracking sales or knowing what customers like. So you can set up a chalkboard and with your tally of sales as to who bought how many. Your suppliers as to where you get your lemons, sugars, and cups. So you may choose to buy bulk products from a store like Costco. Your management. So who decides the prices and the schedule of your opening? So kids set the hours and parents check the quality and provide security. So hope you get the basics of an operating model by now, correct? So let us find out some more and dive a little bit more into the detail. So let us picture the broad components of an operating model or framework. Every operating model has four core components. Let's break them down. Processes, the workflows and activities that create and deliver value. Example, in a manufacturing firm, this might include procurement, production, and distribution processes. The question to ponder is, are your processes standardized or flexible? Next is people, the organizational structure, roles, and skills needed to execute those processes. So example is a tech company might have cross-functional teams with developers and marketers collaborating closely. The key consideration with this is, does your structure empower decision making or slow it down? The next is your technology, the tools and systems that support processes and people. For example, Netflix relies on cloud-based streaming technology and AI-driven recommendation algorithms to help you view better. The insight here is the technology isn't just an enabler. It can redefine how value is ultimately delivered. How about governance? The policies, controls, and decision-making frameworks that guide the operating model. Example, a global retailer might centralize pricing decisions but decentralize inventory management. The trade-offs are that too much control stifles innovation and too little creates chaos. So these components don't exist in isolation. They must align and work together. A change in one, example, adopting new technology ripples through to the others. Example, it needs retraining people or redesigning processes. And like you say, they're all interlinked. So this is just an overlay of the operating model over the business model framework to show how the two interact and complement each other. Just right to keep both of them in mind while you're designing your business or making innovation. Let us now understand the types of operating models. Operating models vary depending on a company's strategy, industry, and scale of operations. So here are four common types based on the operating model canvas framework done by Andrew Campbell. First one is the coordination model. The features are that there are decentralized units with shared services or knowledge exchange. So they are best for organizations needing local flexibility with some integration. The next is the unification model. Their features are their centralized, standardized processes and systems in place. The best is for when you need to drive cost efficiency and brand consistency. Then there is the diversification model. The features are they are independent units with minimal integration between any of them. Best for conglomerates or firms with varied markets and products and business units. The replication model features standardized processes which are replicated across units with some local autonomy provided. And it's best for scalability with adaptability when that is the primary goal. So each model, however, has its trade-offs. A unification model drives efficiency but may lack agility. A diversification model fosters innovation but sacrifices synergy. The key is alignment with your strategy. So let's go deeper on each model and know in detail now. So let us start with the coordination model. Simply put, it's teams that share but stay independent. Its definition is business units work on their own but share some services or knowledge to stay connected. So the key characteristics are that there is loose integration, though there are some shared resources, example IT and HR. The units have autonomy but collaborate only when it is needed. The advantages are that it provides flexibility for local teams. It saves costs by sharing of services. The challenges, however, are that there are risks of silos or poor communication. It's hard to balance autonomy and collaboration over a very large geographical area. So example is university systems. So they have campuses run their own programs but share payroll and tech systems between each other. Next is the unification model. In simple words, one way for everyone. So what is it? Everything is standardized across the company for consistency and efficiency. The key characteristics are that there are centralized processes and systems. There are uniform products and services that are offered globally. So the advantages are that it cuts costs through the scale of operations and it ensures the same quality everywhere. The challenges are that there is less room for local changes and it can sometimes feel rigid for teams and business units. So example is McDonald's, the same menu and cooking process worldwide with centralized supply chains. Now the diversification model. It is in simple words, do your own thing. So units operate independently with little need to connect or share. The key characteristics are that each unit has its own business model and its own goals. So there is minimal central control or integration. The advantages of this model are that units can innovate freely, or they're great for varied businesses in a conglomerate. The challenges, however, are that no cost savings from any sharing, or hard to align that with one company vision. For example, Berkshire Hathaway owns unrelated businesses like insurance and railroads, each running solo on their own, but they are successful. Finally, the replication model. In simple words, same rules, but local twists. So its definition is standard processes are copied across units, but each can tweak them slightly. The key characteristics are that the core systems are the same, but local teams adapt to certain details to suit. This balances consistency with flexibility. The advantage are the scales, it scales fast and with consistency, but allows some local variations to suit the market conditions. So what are the challenges? The tweaks can sometimes create confusion. So therefore needs very strong central guidelines to work with. For example, Starbucks, they have the same store design and training, but regional locations provide variations in the lattes that they provide, say, in a country like Asia. So there is a framework for building the operating model. And remember, a great business model without a strong operating model is just an idea, and a great operating model without a solid business model is just wasted effort. So when we combine the right strategy, the business model, and the right execution through the operating model, we create undeniable success. It is important that businesses keep reviewing their operating models. Operating model innovation is about reimagining how businesses operate to stay competitive. For this, there are four primary ways to innovate an operating model, each addressing different needs. First, we have process innovation, which focuses on streamlining workflows. Then there is structural innovation, reshaping how teams are organized. Thirdly, technology-driven innovation leverages new tools to transform operations. And finally, network innovation involves partnering with others to create value. So each approach has its place. So let's take a closer look as to how they work in the real world. The first type is process innovation. It is about making work smoother and faster. It is primarily redesigning steps in the process to make, sell, or deliver better, less waste, and more speed. When to use it? Well, when you have high cost, slow delivery, or customer complaints about quality. The advantages are that it saves money as well as time. It boosts customer satisfaction and happiness. The disadvantages are that it can disrupt teams if it is rushed, and more importantly, needs constant tweaking to stay sharp and ahead of competition. So the examples as a success story is Toyota's assembly line, the application of lean manufacturing that cut production time from days to hours. And then they dominated the auto industry. The failure, however, is Kodak tried streamlining film production but ignored digital trends, leading to their bankruptcy. The next is structural innovation. Simply put, it is rewiring the team setup. The definition is changing how teams are organized, whether they are centralized, decentralized, or cross-functional. Its advantages are that it sparks creativity and speed. It aligns teams with the goals of the organization. The disadvantage is that it confuses staff if poorly planned, and it takes a lot of time for it to settle in. The examples of success is, say, Spotify's squads and tribes model. Small autonomous teams sped up music platform updates, fueling further growth for Spotify. The failure, however, was the Yahoo's matrix structure overwhelmed employees with unclear roles, slowing progress and aiding its decline over a period of time. What about technology-driven innovation? It is just new tools and with new rules. So the definition is using technology like AI, cloud, or automation to overhaul how work happens. So when to use it is when technology advances outpaces your own systems or competitors are using better tools than what you have. The advantages are that it jumps up efficiency and it's easily scalable. And it most importantly opens up new possibilities. That example as to how to personalize or customize in each location. So disadvantages are that expensive to set up and train, and it risks technology glitches or over-reliance on it because no technology is perfect for every situation or every organization. So the examples are that success is Amazon's two pizza teams plus cloud technology, where small groups with AWS tools build features with fastly expanding e-commerce globally. So the failure was Blockbuster's late switch to streaming technology couldn't catch Netflix, and that led to their collapse in 2010. Lastly, network innovation. This is about teaming up to win. So here you're partnering with suppliers, customers to co-create value. So when is it used? So when you lack resources or need fresh ideas or want to enter new markets. So the advantages are it taps into external expertise and increases speed. It also shares costs and therefore risks. So what are the disadvantages? It's hard to coordinate or trust partners. You run the risk of losing control of your IP or your trade secrets. Example, the success is the Apple's App Store. It opened to developers, creating millions of apps and making iPhones the king of the platform. Failure, however, is Nokia's Symbian partnership, which was clunky and the collaboration with developers lagged behind the iOS and Android and tanking its market share. Yeah, here is the conclusion and the takeaways. So let's recap. Operating models are the backbone of execution. They define how value is delivered through processes, people, technology, and governance. We have explored innovation comes in four types: coordination, unification, diversification, and replication, and seen them in action with companies like Amazon and Spotify. So the key takeaways are A strong operating model aligns with your strategy and adapts to your environment. Misalignment between components, example, outdated technology with modern processes, always creates friction. There is no one size fits all. Choose the model that fits your goal and strategy. So here's some homework. Reflect on your organization or a case study of your choice. Map out its operating model using the four components and identify one strength and one weakness of that organization. Put your thoughts or questions in the comments below. Thank you for your engagement today. And here are some final thoughts as we wrap up this session. The most successful businesses don't just have great ideas, they have great models that evolve over time. That's all for today. Remember, from lemons to success, build an operating model that pours results. See you next time to drink your refreshing lemonade. Huru for now.